in developing countries. In Bangladesh, the municipal solid waste generation is increasing with urbanization, but waste is commonly dumped in open areas due to the inadequate management practice. Landfill sites in Bangladesh often mixed waste, including municipal, industrial, and hospital waste, increasing the risk of soil contamination. Khulna is the third largest city in Bangladesh. There is approximately 450 to 520 tons of MSW per day, with the Rajbagh landfill serving as the main disposal site. Continuous waste dumping in the Rajbagh landfill has raised concerns regarding the trace metal accumulation and coliform contamination in soil. Limited studies have addressed depth-wise and distance-wise variation of trace metals and coliform counts in the landfill soils, particularly the changes in trace metal concentration increasing distance from the landfill site. And this study addressed this gap by assessing trace metal concentration and total and fecal coliform count in soil in the Rajbagh landfill site. The objective of my study is to assess the heavy metal concentration in soils of the landfill site and adjacent areas and compare the findings with WHO and CCMA guidelines developed. And the second objective is to evaluate the heavy metal concentration using the geocommission index, enrichment factor, contamination factor, and pollution load index, and to evaluate microbial contamination in the landfill soil. So this is the study area of my thesis, where the total of 20 sampling points are selected from the 13 different locations, which is topsoil and subsoil. So in total, the 70 of the total samples. Among the 12 locations are situated in the landfill site and the distance of 0, 25 and 60 meters from the landfill site. And while one location located 308 meters away from the landfill site as considered as the reference point. So this is the visual methodology of my research, from the starting from the sampling and initiated by sampling, and finally the analysis with AS for elevator and microbial count with the MM data for total coliform and MS data for fecal coliform. So in physiochemical properties, I measure the pH and organic matter with pH is plus electrode pH meter and organic matter measure is organic carbon. What is plus meter? Then conversion factor is 1.7, and the microbial population count with total coliform with this equation. And heavy metal analysis, 0.5 gram soil to digested using the nitrate pH sulfuric acid mixture with standard 2.1 ratio. This is the evaluation of soil contamination, where the core index is given there, decomposition index, decomposition index, enrichment factor, contamination factor, and pollution load index. So from the first stage, the pH of the reference site versus the landfill site and organic matter. So if the pH of the reference site and the landfill site is significantly different. The landfill site is higher in pH in some areas, in most of the areas, but the reference site is the less pH, like acidic to neutral. And the organic matter is relatively higher in the landfill site, and in the reference site is lower. The TC and FC count in the reference site is relatively lower and statistically different from the landfill site. And cadmium, chromium, lead and iron, for the cadmium, chromium and lead is significantly higher in the landfill site comparing with the reference site, but iron is significantly different from the landfill site but higher in the reference site. So this is the result illustration part, where the sampling site and the WHO comparison, where the cadmium and lead is excessively higher with the WHO guidelines, where chromium is mostly moderate contamination. So this is the topsoil and subsoil comparison. In pH and organic matter is really higher in the topsoil compared to the subsoil, but pH is no significant difference in topsoil versus subsoil. Total and fecal coliform is relatively higher in the topsoil but lower in the subsoil. And cadmium and chromium and lead shows no significant difference in the topsoil versus subsoil, but iron has significantly higher in the topsoil. So this is the distance-wise comparison of metal from the landfill site. In the 0 meter distance, most metals shows the most high concentration in cadmium and chromium, and this is significantly decreases the concentration with increasing the distance. but lead shows higher concentration in the 25 meters distance from the landfill site, maybe by the localized deposition. Resultant discussion. This is the accumulation index of evaluation index of the study, and where the PLI shows the most of the site is contaminated by the pollution. So I have the source analysis of the trace metal, where the step plot and bar plot shows the cadmium and chromium. Where cadmium and lead from the and iron and chromium from the same source and iron from the different source. That is dominated by the PCA group. In the organic matter and the pH influence the PCA and the PCA1 shows that higher organic matter lead to the increased total polyform due to the organic waste decomposition, and PCA2 indicates the fecal polyforms increase under slightly lower pH, reflecting the influence of landfill leachate. Pearson correlation confirms a strong positive correlation between the organic matter and total polyform. Identifying organic matter is the main driver of the microbial contamination. So in conclusion, first of all, landfill sites are significantly contaminated with cadmium and lead, exceeding WHO CCAV guidelines values, while for chromium shows moderate contamination, and iron mainly from natural origin. Topsoil is more impacted than subsoil, showing higher soil total polyform and fecal polyform count, indicating a stronger surface level contamination. Like trace metal contamination, cadmium, chromium, lead decrease significantly, increasing distance from the landfill, confirming the landfill as the primary contamination source. Source analysis, principal component analysis and Pearson correlation identified cadmium, chromium, lead as the landfill J anthropogenic metals, while iron is the gasoline. Organic matter plays a role in microbial contamination, as higher organic matter is significantly associated with increasing total abundance of the polyform. While fecal polyform distribution is the primary influenced by landfill leachate conditions and pH.
heavy metals and microbial pollution এবং রাজপথ ল্যান্ডফিল সাইট মানে কি এখান থেকে নিয়েছেন অ্যারাউন্ড রাজপথ ল্যান্ডফিল সাইট
0 মিটার ডিসটেন্সের স্যাম্পলটা সেটা হচ্ছে ল্যান্ডফিল সাইট থেকে নেওয়া, তারপর থেকে 25 এবং 30 মিটার ডিসটেন্সটা ল্যান্ডফিল সাইট থেকে দূরে
অ্যারাউন্ড দিতে প্রত্যেকটা জায়গায় সেন্সে ই বসাই দিচ্ছে এটা অ্যারাউন্ড করে ইনগুলো কিন্তু ল্যান্ডফিল সাইট কিন্তু সব আছে আগে ট্রেস মেটাল হবে মেটালের মধ্যে কি আছে কম্পোজিট মেটাল ট্রেস মেটাল এর ক্যাডমিয়াম ক্রোমিয়াম ট্রেস মেটাল
আচ্ছা ম্যাডাম জানেন একটা তামিলা থাকে
তাই না অর্গানিক ম্যাটার এখানে অর্গানিক ম্যাটার রিলেশন ডাইরেকশন রিলেশন আসতে পারে আপনারা এটা
পড়ে
আচ্ছা থিওরিটিক্যালি কি মনে হয়
মাইগ্রেশনটা নরমালি কম হয়
Okay, thank you.